Welcome to our guide on resource planning, a critical process in project management. It involves identifying, allocating, and managing the resources necessary to complete a project successfully. These resources can include people, equipment, materials, software, and budget. Effective resource planning ensures that the right resources are available at the right time and in the right quantity. Without it, projects can face delays, cost overruns, and even failure. Imagine building a house without first determining how many bricks, how much lumber, or how many workers are needed. Chaos would ensue. Similarly, in project management, neglecting resource planning leads to a lack of control over project timelines, budgets, and ultimately, project success. Resource planning brings order to the chaos by providing a roadmap for resource acquisition and utilization. Careful resource planning allows project managers to anticipate potential bottlenecks and proactively address them. For instance, if a project requires a specialized skill set and the team lacks it, resource planning provides a window to train existing personnel or hire external contractors in advance. Such foresight prevents last-minute scrambling and keeps the project on track. In essence, resource planning is the backbone of successful project management. It empowers project managers to make informed decisions, optimize resource utilization, and navigate the complexities of project execution with confidence. This essay will explore the key steps involved in resource planning, providing practical examples and highlighting the importance of each stage. The first step in resource planning is identifying the types and quantities of resources required for the project. This involves a thorough analysis of the project scope, deliverables, and activities. Start by listing all the tasks needed to complete the project. Then, determine the specific resources required for each task. For example, if the project involves developing software, you'll need programmers, testers, and perhaps graphic designers. You'll also need computers, software licenses, and testing environments. If the project is constructing a building, you'll need architects, engineers, construction workers, and materials like concrete, steel, and lumber. Identifying resources also involves considering the experience level and skill set needed for each task. For instance, a senior software developer might be needed for complex coding tasks, while a junior developer could handle simpler tasks. Similarly, a master carpenter might be required for intricate woodwork, while an apprentice can assist with basic framing. This stage requires collaboration with various stakeholders, including project team members, subject matter experts, and even potential vendors or contractors. Gathering input from these stakeholders ensures a comprehensive understanding of the resource requirements and helps prevent overlooking crucial resources. By meticulously identifying all necessary resources, project managers lay a strong foundation for the subsequent stages of resource planning. Once the resources are identified, the next step is to analyze their availability and cost. This involves determining if the required resources are available internally within the organization or if they need to be procured externally. For internal resources, assess their availability based on their current workload and commitments. For external resources, research potential vendors or contractors and obtain quotes to understand their cost implications. Resource analysis also involves evaluating the quality and suitability of the resources. For instance, if the project requires a specific type of machinery, assess the availability of different models and their respective performance capabilities. Consider a scenario where a project needs a specialized 3D printer. Resource analysis may reveal that the organization doesn't own one. The project manager then needs to research vendors, compare prices and specifications of various 3D printers, and select the most suitable option based on project needs and budget. Resource analysis helps in making informed decisions about resource acquisition. It also enables project managers to optimize resource allocation by balancing cost with quality and availability. By conducting a thorough resource analysis, project teams can ensure they have access to the best resources within the project constraints. Resource allocation involves assigning the identified resources to specific project tasks. This step requires careful consideration of resource availability, skills, and project priorities. The goal is to ensure that each task has the necessary resources assigned to it, without over-allocating or under-allocating resources. For example, a senior programmer with expertise in a specific programming language should be allocated to tasks that require that specific skill set. A junior programmer could be assigned to less complex tasks, allowing them to gain experience under the guidance of the senior programmer. Similarly, in a construction project, skilled electricians should be assigned to electrical work, while plumbers handle plumbing tasks. Resource allocation should also consider the dependencies between tasks. Some tasks might need to be completed before others can start. Resource allocation should reflect these dependencies, ensuring that resources are available when needed. Effective resource allocation optimizes resource utilization and minimizes idle time. It also helps in preventing bottlenecks and delays by ensuring that critical tasks have the required resources readily available. By carefully allocating resources to project tasks, project managers can maintain a smooth workflow and keep the project on schedule. Section 5. Creating a resource schedule. Once resources are allocated, the next step is to create a resource schedule. This schedule outlines when each resource is needed and for how long. It provides a clear timeline for resource utilization throughout the project lifecycle. The resource schedule is typically represented using tools like Gantt charts or project management software. For instance, if a software project requires a database administrator for 2 weeks during the development phase, the resource schedule will reflect this, indicating the specific start and end dates for the database administrator's involvement. Similarly, in a construction project, the resource schedule will specify the duration for which each contractor, electrician, plumber, carpenter, is needed on site. Creating a resource schedule helps in visualizing resource availability and identifying potential conflicts or overbookings. It allows project managers to anticipate periods of high resource demand and adjust the schedule accordingly. The resource schedule serves as a roadmap for resource utilization, ensuring that resources are available when and where they are needed throughout the project. Section 6. Stakeholder communication. Effective resource planning involves clear and consistent communication with stakeholders. Stakeholders include project team members, sponsors, customers, and any individuals or groups impacted by the project. Communication should cover resource availability, allocation, and any potential risks or issues related to resources. Regular updates and reports should be provided to stakeholders, keeping them informed about the status of resource planning and any changes to the resource schedule. For instance, if a key resource becomes unavailable, stakeholders should be promptly informed and alternative solutions should be communicated. Transparent communication helps build trust and ensures that everyone is on the same page regarding resource management. It also allows for early identification of potential issues and facilitates collaborative problem solving. By maintaining open communication lines, project managers can mitigate risks associated with resource availability and ensure stakeholder satisfaction. Section 7. Risk management in resource planning. Resource planning inherently involves risks. Resources might become unavailable, costs might escalate, or unforeseen events could disrupt resource availability. Effective resource planning includes identifying potential risks related to resources and developing mitigation strategies. Potential risks could include the resignation of a key team member, delays in procuring materials due to supply chain issues, or budget cuts that impact resource allocation. For each identified risk, develop a mitigation plan outlining steps to minimize the impact of the risk. For example, if the risk is the resignation of a key team member, the mitigation plan could include cross-training other team members or having a backup resource readily available. Risk management in resource planning helps in anticipating potential challenges and proactively addressing them. It minimizes the negative impact of unforeseen events on resource availability and project execution. Section 8. Resource leveling and smoothing. Resource leveling and smoothing are techniques used to optimize resource utilization and minimize fluctuations in resource demand. Resource leveling involves adjusting the project schedule to balance resource allocation. If certain periods have a high demand for a specific resource, the schedule can be adjusted to distribute the workload more evenly. For instance, if multiple tasks require the same senior programmer simultaneously, resource leveling might involve shifting some tasks to later dates, allowing the programmer to focus on one task at a time without being overloaded. Resource smoothing, on the other hand, focuses on using available slack in the project schedule to manage resource utilization. If a resource has idle time, tasks can be shifted within the available slack to keep the resource engaged without impacting the critical path of the project. Resource leveling and smoothing help prevent resource burnout, improve resource efficiency, and maintain a consistent workflow throughout the project. These techniques contribute to a more stable project environment and enhance the overall effectiveness of resource planning. Section 9. Monitoring and controlling resources. Resource planning is not a one-time activity. It requires ongoing monitoring and control throughout the project lifecycle. Regularly track resource usage, compare it against the planned schedule, and identify any variances. If actual resource consumption deviates significantly from the plan, corrective actions need to be taken. Monitoring might reveal that a task is consuming more resources than initially estimated. In such cases, the project manager might need to adjust the resource allocation, renegotiate with vendors, or explore alternative solutions to address the variance. Control mechanisms ensure that resource utilization remains aligned with the project plan and that any deviations are promptly addressed. Effective monitoring and control help in maintaining budgetary control, preventing resource wastage, and ensuring that the project stays on track in terms of resource utilization. By actively monitoring and controlling resources, project managers can maintain a firm grip on resource management and minimize the risk of project delays or cost overruns. Section 10. Conclusion. Resource planning is an indispensable aspect of project management, serving as the foundation for successful project execution. From identifying resources to stakeholder communication, each step plays a crucial role in ensuring that the right resources are available at the right time and in the right quantity. Effective resource planning empowers project managers to make informed decisions, optimize resource utilization, and mitigate risks associated with resource availability. By meticulously planning, allocating, and managing resources, project teams can enhance project efficiency, minimize costs, and improve the likelihood of achieving project objectives. The benefits of effective resource planning are multifaceted, ranging from improved project predictability to enhanced stakeholder satisfaction. By embracing a comprehensive approach to resource planning, project managers can navigate the complexities of project execution with confidence and steer projects towards successful completion.